Here we are inside the Mobilvetta K-yacht 80. If we first come to the main control panel just here and just touch anywhere on the screen, it will then turn on. We will then get a series of icons just here. So along the top it's just displaying the date, time, etc. If I now just press this, we can obviously change it if needed, and we can also set an alarm if we want to. Next we have internal and external temperatures. This one here is just letting us know that we have main supply connected to the van. If it was not connected, it would not be in green. And then this one here is just setting, so we can set the contrast, etc., how quickly before it times out when we're not using it, button beeps on and off. We do not need to worry about the top one. We do not have additional software added. Every single one of these along here will take you to exactly the same place, so it does not matter which one you press, it will always take you to this screen here that gives you condition of both vehicle and leisure batteries, how much water's in the fresh tank and how much water's in the waste tank. We can also set alarms if we want to. So now if either of the batteries got dangerously low, it would let us know. When our fresh water was low, it would let us know. And when our waste tank is high, it will let us know. This one here is the main isolator for all of the onboard lights. They can all be turned on and off on their own switches. It will not do these top touch lights. They do need to be touched to turn on. Next we have the awning light, water pump, auxiliary. This one needs to be on for the toilet to be able to flush, and then 12 volt back off again. Beside this control panel, we then have the trimmer control panel for the heating and the hot water. Turn it on like so by pressing the button in. Once the unit is fired up, we can then turn heating, hot water on, etc. What I'm firstly just going to do is just alter the brightness so we can see the screen. There we go. Okay, so the first one, if we can now rotate this button to it, is for your heating. So if I now click on it, heating is off. All we now do is rotate the button and pick whatever temperature we would like it to be inside the motorhome, right the way up to a rather toasty 30 degrees. So let's just say we want it to be 30 degrees in here. Click to store it in, and you will now see a little flame has appeared above. That little flame there just represents the heating system. It's just letting you know that you've set a parameter. When the heating actually comes into operation, that little flame will begin to flash. As you can now see. If we now move to the next icon, this one is for hot water. So again, hot water is off. If I now rotate, we can heat hot water in eco mode, which will give us a temperature of about 40 degrees. We can heat in hot, which will give us a water temperature of about 60. And we can also perform a boost on the boiler. The boost was mainly designed for if you want more than one person to have a shower in quick succession of each other, or if you want a longer shower. If you do perform the boost and the heating's running, the heating will turn off because it needs to take the power to be able to do it. What I will now do is drop it into eco mode, and then they should both begin to flash, and then once they both achieve their temperatures, they will go to a solid state. After that, we then have power source. So we're currently using gas on its own with a little picture of the gas bottle, and if I click on it, it will show you. If we now rotate, we can use dual fuel, so we can use a mixture of gas and mains supply at 1 kilowatt, or gas and main supply at 2 kilowatts. These settings are very handy, especially in the winter months, if you want to get up to temperature nice and quickly. It will disengage the gas when it's not required. After that, if you do not want to use any gas at all, we have mains electricity at 1 kilowatt and mains electricity at 2 kilowatts, just depending on the ampage of the site that you're on. I will now switch over to mains, and you will now see we have the 2 little lightning strikes above. After that, we then have the circulation fan for the heating system. So currently the fan is in eco mode. What we can do is turn it up to high. If I now go and turn off the hot water and the heating and return to the circulation fan, we can also use it to vent the motorhome. Has a fan speed of 1 to 10. So if it is a very warm day, you can just circulate the air if you want to. If we now go to the lower icons, this first one here is so we can set the time. So literally just twist and then just click. And then we have settings menu just here. So we have temperature, Celsius, Fahrenheit, brightness of the screen, 12 or 24 hour clock, language, index, which is more for the technicians, just lets us know what software it's running, and full factory reset. If we now go back from clock set and we go back to this one is for a timer. So we can set a start time, we can set an end time, and then we can then just literally tell it what we want on within that time period. So let's say we want the heating on at 20, we want hot water at 60, we want to be using dual fuel, and we'll leave the fan in eco. Now if I activate the timer icon will come on in that corner just there, and then within that time period those settings would then apply. If I now go and turn the timer back off again and now go back to it, we can obviously alter it. If an error code appears, and that can sometimes happen, especially if you lose main supply or your gas runs out, etc., a warning triangle will appear just here to let you know. If you then click on it, it will then display the error code. If you then Google it or look in the instruction manual, etc., it will tell you what the problem is. If you then usually rectify the problem, the error code will just disappear. If it doesn't, I always suggest that if you've still got stuff running along the top here, you literally make sure they're turned off. If that still hasn't solved the issue, I always then say turn the unit off, just hold it in and keep holding it until it says off, and then turn it back on again. If that still doesn't work, I always then suggest always doing a factory reset, because sometimes they can just glitch and they just need to be reset. Next we have the location of the freshwater tank. You will see I've already removed the cushions. So if we now take this cover off, you will see the water pump just sits at the back here. And then if we take the cap off, you will see the 2 drain points. We have the travel drain point just here, so just pull the bung out, and then we have the complete drain off valve just here, so just pull that one out. Beneath the floor we have various storage points. This one here, however, is where we come when we want to drain off the grey water, just by turning this lever just here. All of the gas isolation points for the van are in this cupboard here, and they're all here. They're all in the on position and can stay like this. I personally say smell gas in the van, go to the gas bottles and turn them off. We then have the two gas rings just here, so just push in, twist and ignite. And then we have the induction hob just here. In this overhead locker just here, we have the digital amplifier for the television area on the roof. It can be turned on and off just here, and control the boost just here. There is also in here a main socket, and we also have 12 volt and satellite and TV aerial plug-in points. We then just have the wardrobe just here. The oven. So all we do, push in to the left for the oven and hit the igniter, and then if we then go back, push in and go to the right, we'll then fire up the grill. It does also come with a light. Beneath that we have the Thetford fridge freezer, on and off on this one here. This is an automatic model, so as long as you have it on the A for auto, it will find the best power source it can for you. So because we're hooked up to main supply at the moment, it's now put us directly onto mains. If I now went outside and pulled the mains lead out, it would then automatically fire up onto gas, and as soon as we start the engine, it will then go over to 12 volt maintain. You will see the screen goes black after a little while. To bring it back, just tap the on off button. We can take it out of auto, so I can manually put it on a mains, manually onto 12 volt maintain. You will see it's all flashing and we have a red light at the moment. It's just because the engine isn't running, and I can manually put it onto gas. But at the end of the day, auto is the easiest one to have it on. Temperature control just here, and then this one here is for the unit's anti-condensation jacket. Anti-condensation jacket basically stops the unit from building up condensation at the back of the unit, which will then run down and cause a puddle underneath it. It definitely needs to be on whilst the weather is warm. During the winter months it is not needed, so you can turn it off if you wish, just by pressing this button just here. To turn the unit completely back off again, just hold and back off. And then we have a nice large fridge and a very good size freezer compartment. Next we have the location of the underfloor heating. So to turn it on and off, it's just on this switch just here, and then beneath that is the solar panel regulator. You do not need to do anything with it, it is already set up in a point to smart charge the batteries. If we now move to the back of the van, we have the location of the Truma boiler. So it just sits here, and then the drain down valve for it is just down here. I am just going to get my torch because it is a little bit dark. There we go. So you'll see the little blue diamond just there. That is the drain valve. So to manually drain the boiler down for winterization, just come to the blue diamond and twist it. When we twist it, a blue button's going to pop out, as you can see. To close it back up again, just twist and push the blue button back in again, and it will then reset. And as long as you've got water in your fresh water tank and you turn the water pump on, it will then begin to prime itself back up again. These drains are also automatic, so if they're in the closed position and the internal temperature of the van drops below 3-4 degrees, that blue button will automatically pop out, so the boiler will then frost protect itself. If that happens, to reset it, all you need to do is push the blue button back in. If it will not stay in, it's just too cold in the van and you'll need to turn the heating on. Next we have the location for the switch for the table. To move the table around, just pull this lever just here. But to lower it so we can drop the electric bed all the way down, we just press this button here. And then we're fully down. And then we need to make sure all the cushions are out of the way. And then we come to this point here, make sure the key is turned on, and then lower the bed like so. Do make sure, if you are going to have the bed in the lowest position, that you've turned the lights off underneath, just to avoid any scorching of the upholstery. If you are going to have the bed in the higher position, the ladder just hooks on at these points here. If we now move to the washroom, we have the Thetford toilet just here. To open and close to the cassette, just at this point here, and then to flush just here. Just remember to have that auxiliary switch on the control panel or it will not flush. Level indicator just here. And then we have the shower cubicle just here.